Hello again, our most valued student. My name is Confident and welcome to Ekurhuleni Tech's 24-minute lesson. Our lesson today is lesson on factorizing a quadratic trinomial as the first one, as well as we are going to look at algebraic fractions, where we will look at addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Because of the length of this lesson, it is going to be divided into two sections. The first one that we're going to look at is, let us factorize a quadratic trinomial. What do we mean by a quadratic trinomial? This is an example of a quadratic trinomial. In general form, it is given like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, you can see what we mean by a. We say the coefficient of x squared. If I look at the coefficient of x squared is a. The coefficient of x is b. And c is the number on its own there. So if we try to match the same thing here, the coefficient of x squared, in other ways, the a part here is a 1. The coefficient of x, the b in this one, it is a 6. If you can look at it, if I can just point on it, it's much better. It is a 6. And the c is an 8. So this is a c, that is a b, and the a there is a 1. So we call these the coefficient of x squared, the coefficient of x and c. So when we're talking about factorizing a quadratic trinomial, we are basing it on the general form of a trinomial. Now let me introduce a method to you that will make solving these quadratic trinomials much simpler. It is called the product sum method. What is the product sum method? If I come and use my previous example here of ax squared plus bx plus c, if I ask you now, what is the product? The product means product, we say p, or product. Usually we use the word p. In other places I'll be saying, what is p? P for product. Product, we are going to take the number a and number c, and we're going to multiply them. In other ways, it is a times c. So the product will be ac. Now, what about the sum? The sum is represented by s, will be the number remaining after multiplying a and b. In this case, it will be just a b. If you multiply a and c, what is left is a b. Don't forget to take the signs again. B is positive, so you make it a positive. A and c were positive, so we make them positive, because signs are very important in this particular method. Now, let us identify also our a, our b, and our c in the following trinomial. If you are given x squared plus 6x plus 8, if I say to you, find p, the product, what is the product? The product, remember, is a number that you multiply, the coefficient of x squared, and you can't see any number there, it means it's a 1, as well as 8. So you're going to multiply this number, 1, as well as the 8. So it will be 1 times 8, the product there will be positive 8. Remember the sign. What about the sum? The sum is the number that is remaining. You had a 1 and an 8, and you see the number remaining in the center there, it is plus 6. So what are we looking for here? Whenever we are looking at the product in the sum, we are always looking for two numbers. Don't forget about this, two numbers. These two numbers, there is something special about these two numbers. Two numbers When we multiply them, product, they must give us an 8. And when we add them, that is multiply them, product means times. And when we add them, sum means plus, we must get a 6. So which two numbers, when you multiply, you get an 8, when you add, you get a 6. You mustn't crack your head. What you simply do is, you come and look at the factors of 8. So you ask yourself to say, what are the factors of 8? 8, how can you get 8? The first one is 8 times 1. The other one is 2, so it will be 4 times 2. The other factor is 3 is not a factor, 4 is a factor, so it will be 2 times 4. But you can see that this particular factor is repeating, is 4 times 2 and 2 times 4. It is the same thing, so you can scratch it out. So the two factors of 8, it's 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. These are the numbers that can give us, when you multiply them, you get an 8. Now you must ask yourself, if I'm to add, remember sum, these numbers, how can I combine these numbers in such a way that I must get a 6? If you look at the first one, I'm going to use a red pen. 8 and 1, is there a way of getting a 6 between 8 and 1? We cannot get a 6, so this one is out. What about 4 and 2? Look at this. If you say 4 times 2 is 8, and also if you say 4 plus 2, 4 plus 2, what are you getting? You are getting a 6, a positive 6. There are the two numbers. So the numbers that when you multiply them, 4 times 2, you get an 8. When you add them, 4 plus 2, you get a 6, are the product and sum of this particular method. To recap again, we said the two numbers which when I multiply I get an 8 are 4 and 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And the two numbers which when I add I get a 6 is 4 plus 2, which is a 6. You can always put the positive sign there. Now I'm going to rewrite this expression like this now. I'm going to say x squared plus 4, remember the 4, but now I just say 4x plus 2, remember the other 2, I just also say 2x plus 8. What have I done? Look at 4x plus 2x. 4x plus 2x is 6x, so I have actually split 6x into 4x plus 2x. If I continue, now if you look at it carefully, you can see now what is common in the first two and what is common in the last two. What is common in the first two, now I'm factorizing by grouping, it is x. What are we going to have there? We're going to have x plus 4. I must also come with a second bracket that has got x plus 4. What am I going to take common in the second bracket? It's plus 2. What do I have there? Is x plus 4. Remember, equal to. Now I'm going to continue my problem here. Now look at it now again. In the previous version, you have got x plus 4, x plus 4. Just like we were factorizing previously, you write that the parts in the bracket, x plus 4. What is outside the brackets is x plus 2. You have factorized using the product sum method, and you have factorized x squared plus 6x plus 8 to give you x plus 4, x plus 2. If you expand it, expanding means x times x, you get x squared. X times 2, you get 2x. 4 times x, you get plus 4x. And 4 times 2, you get 8. This gives you x squared plus 6x plus 8, which is the original version. So this is a proof that you can check whether your answer was correct or wrong. Let me move a bit faster now to see how this method worked. Now we're going to use the product sum method to simplify or factorize the following trinomial. Now let me see what is my product. My product is a number there, it's 1, remember? So I'm going to multiply that number and that number. 1 times 10, I'm going to get a positive 10 is my product. What is my sum? You can, some people they put x squared, it's still fine. You can say 1x squared times 10 is still 10x squared, but without putting, what is important is the numbers. What is the sum? Sum is the number remaining there. So this one, remember, is x squared, to write it big, minus 7x plus 10. So I'm saying my product, there is a 1 there, so that is the product. The sum is what is remaining, so the sum there is minus 7. What are the factors? To find the factors, in other ways, we need two numbers, which when you multiply them, product is multiplying, sum is plus. When you multiply them, you get 10. When you add them, you get minus 7. So you look at the factors. Always look at the factors of 10. Look at the factors, the f of 10. What are the factors of 10? It's 10 times 1 will give us a 10. What are the other factors of 10? It's 2 there. 5 times 2 will give us a 10. There are no other factors except these two. Now from these two factors, I need the one which when I add them, I must get a negative 7. Is there a way of getting a negative 7 in the first one between 10 and 1? There is no way. Whether the signs are positive or negative, I cannot get a 7 between 10 and 1. Hence, this one I can scratch it out. The interesting one is the second one, which is 5 and 2. You can see if I just say 5 plus 2, I get a 7. But I'm not looking for a positive 7, I'm looking for a negative 7. Here you have to play with your calculator. You can start by saying 5 plus 2, you'll get a positive 7, which is not right because we need a negative 7. You go on and say minus 5 plus 2, you'll get minus 3, which is not correct. You say 5 minus 2, you'll get a positive 3. But if you say minus 5 plus minus 2, you will get minus 7. Bingo! So we got it. It is minus 5 and minus 2. These are the factors. So if I rewrite our quadratic trinomial, it becomes x squared instead of 7x now. Remember, minus 7x now is minus 5x minus 2x plus 10. I no longer write 7x, but I wrote minus 5x minus 2x. Again, normal factorizing by grouping. Look at the first two, look at the last two. Whatever is in the brackets must match. The first two, what is common is x. I will have x minus 5. Now, to have x minus 5, I need to be careful of the sign there, but I can see 2 is common there. I will have x and I will have a 5. But I want to have a negative here. Now, if 10 was positive and I want to change it to a negative, which means I'll take out a negative there. So now I have x minus 5 and I have x minus 2. You can verify by expanding again. It will give you the previous answer. Let us move on to the next problem. 2x squared plus x minus 15 using the product sum method. Now you are a bit comfortable. Look at it now. It's 2x squared plus x minus 15. The two numbers now multiplying. Look at them. I'm multiplying 2 and minus 15. If I multiply 2 and minus 15, I'm going to get minus 30. And then that's my product. And what about my sum? S. To get my sum is the number that is at the center, and you can see the number at the center is just an x. It means it's a positive 1 there. So you say plus 1. Now I'm looking for two numbers. What are those factors? Two numbers which when I multiply them, I get minus 30. When I add them, sum, I get a positive 1. In other ways, I look for factors of 30. This is the key there, the factors. What are the factors of 30? If I say 30 times 1, I get a 30. If I say 15 times 2, I get a 30. If I say 10 times 3, I got a 30. Another factor of 30 is a 4 won't do. A 5, yes. 6 times 5 will do. There are no other factors going further. They will just repeat. Hence, all these will give me a 30. But I want the one which when I add them, I must get a positive 1. Remember the sum when I add them. Look at this one. There is no way I can get a positive 1 out of this one. There is no way. Even if I say 30 plus 1, 30 minus 1, it won't give me a 1. Even the second one, 15 and 2 is 2. The numbers are too far apart to give me a 1. 10 and 3 again, the numbers, look at it, 10 plus 3 is 13, 10 minus 3 is 7, minus 10 plus 3. It won't actually get me close to a 1. The interesting one are 6 and 5. How can I get a 1 between 6 and 5? This is now where you play with your calculator. If you say 6 plus 5 is 11, if you say 6 minus 5, that's a 1. Hence, look at it, 6 minus 5, it is equal to a plus 1. Hence, the sum is plus 1. Again, if I multiply 6 times minus 5, I'll get a negative 30. So look at the factors again. It's positive 6 and negative 5. 6 times minus 5 is minus 30. 6 minus 5 is 1. So when you multiply them, you get a negative 30. Try with a calculator. When you add them, you get a 1. You rewrite this expression now as 2x squared. Instead of 1x, you put that plus 6x minus 5x minus 15. You go on now and say what's common in the first two, what is common in the first two, and what's common in the last two. 2x in this case is common. You take out 2x. You're going to have x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. Again, remember, always when you get the first bracket, the second bracket must match if you did the right thing. So you can see the negative and negative is common there, and 5 and 15, 5 is common. So minus 5, you're going to have x minus 5 divided, minus 15 divided by 5, you're going to get a positive 3. Look at the brackets, they are exactly matching. You write the first one as x plus 3. You write the second one as 2x minus 5. You have factorized that. Moving on again, you can try this on your own, but I'm going to do it much faster. You have got 6y squared plus 5y minus 21. I'm going to do this faster. My product, the times, is 6 times 21. If I use my calculator, is 6 times negative 21. Not just 6 times 21 is minus 126. And my sum is positive 5. So I'm looking for two numbers here, the factors, which when I multiply, I get minus 126. When I add, I get a 5. Now, let me look at these factors. Now, if you look, I've just gone through these factors with my calculator. If I divide by 1, by 2, by 3, by 6, I find these factors. Now, to get a 5, if you can just check, this and this won't give me a 5, they won't give me a 5. 21, 6, they can't give me a 5. 18, 17, whether I must subtract them, they can't give me a 5. But 14 and 19 are interesting because if I just say 14 minus 19, 14 minus 19, I get a 5. 14 minus 9, not 99, I get a 5. Hence, the factors are 14, and I use a red pen, is 14, and what is it? Is minus 9. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6y squared plus 14y minus 9y minus 21. What's common in the first one there between 6y squared is 2y. I'm going to get 3y plus 7 minus 3 here. I'm going to get a 3y plus 7. So 3y plus 7 and 2y minus 3. You can expand again. Remember, to multiply, it will get you back to 6y squared plus 5y minus 21. Now, these are different methods that you can also use. I mean, the quadratic trinomial can come camouflaged in this form, but this is a quadratic trinomial. Just to show you, it's the exponent version that is hidden. But here, I'm not going to solve it fully, but I'm just going to give you a hint on how you can solve this. M36, M18, you can say let M18 be equal to X. Now, what is M36? It's like this. You are going to have M18 and 2. Why? Because 18 times 2 is 36. plus 3m18 minus 10. But remember, where there is m18, you're going to put an x. Then this becomes x squared plus 3x minus 10. You understand? And when you have used the product and sum, you are going to have, when you factorize it using the product and sum, you are going to have, so this is what it's going to give you. But don't forget, you have got m in this case, as m18 is equal to x, so this becomes, where there is x now, you put m18 minus 5 and m18 plus 5, m18 minus 2. This is how you do it. Again, looking at the other problem here, is minus 4a squared plus 12a minus 9. This is an a. Here, the product is these two, is minus 4 and 9. It is plus 36. And the sum here is plus 12. So you're looking for the two numbers where you're going to multiply, you get a positive 36, and the sum is positive 12. If you look for those two numbers, if you quickly look at these factors, it's 6 and 6, positive 6 and positive 6, and you check it, you'll have minus 4a squared plus 6a plus 6a minus 9. If you continue to factorize it, it will give you the solution. Now, let us move on to look at fractions. When we are looking at fractions, we are going to look at addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. And the key here is addition, subtraction, division, as well as multiplication. Let's start with division and multiplication. There is a common mistake that is to be avoided, is whenever you are given a fraction like this and you are tempted to cancel it like that, and you are tempted to cancel things like this, it is not allowed. Not allowed. I have bolded it. Not allowed. This is not allowed. Also, don't be tempted to cancel that and you say this is 3x minus y. This is wrong. It is not allowed. Now, using your calculator, can you quickly calculate the following? 3 over 4 times 9 over 8, as well as 3 over 4 divided by 9 over 8. If you use a calculator, you're going to get the two answers as 2 over 3 or 2 over 3 is the same answer. What do you notice on the 2? 3 over 4 on both sides. But look at it, when you say times, it's 8 over 9. When you say divided, it's 9 over 8. This is the principle of division. In actual fact, how did you get the same answers? Here you said 3, if they say 3 over 4 times 8 over 9, 3 into 3 it's 1, 3 into 9 is a 3, 4 into 4 it's 1, 4 into 8 is a 2. So now you are having 1 times 2, it's 2 over 3. Same thing with division. If they say divide, you are having 3 over 4 divided by 9 over 8. You can't do anything like this, but you have to change it into a multiplication sign, which is 3 over 4 times 8 over 9, which is now similar to the previous example that we just did. This is same when you are given a problem like this. X over 4 times 2y over 3x. What we can do is can cancel across like this. X, use a different color. X there, we'll cancel that x. 2 into 2, 2 into 4, it's a 2. So now you multiply, there is a 1 times 1y. You are multiplying on top, everything on top. You have got y over 2 times 3, you have got a 6. That's how you do it. Again, if you are using a division sign, you are going to have x over 4 divided by 3x over 2y. This is same as x over 4 times 2y over 3x, which is similar to the top. We have come to the end of our lesson. We are going to end it here and then continue it in the next lesson.